Hi, this is Laugh and Grow Fat Reviews. Yeah, this is our first review, so bear with us. I'm Bob.
And I'm Larry, and this is our review of Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
I'm Bob. And I'm Larry. And this is Laugh and Go Frat Reviews.
Okay, so I'm going to clear some things up first. I, Bob, am indeed a fan of Call of Duty, but I absolutely hate Activision with a passion, and I was horribly disappointed with the first Black Ops.
And that actually leads us into a new segment we're starting. And by new, I mean it's going to be a regular part of the show because this is technically our first episode, so everything's new.
The segment is titled Quick Reviews.
Quick
Reviews. Okay, so the objective here is to show you a simple review of a game not important enough to get a whole episode boiled down into just a score with a little reasoning behind it. And our first review, in case you haven't guessed it, is
Call of Duty Black Ops. Black Ops 1 had a mediocre narrative with an overemphasis on zombies and an alright multiplayer. It was alright.
it was a clone of the past 3 multiplayer setups, and for those reasons, we give Call of Duty Black Ops 1 a 6 out of 10.
So, are we all okay? That wasn't so hard. Our first review. It was nice.
Yeah, it was actually. Okay, so this video will be structured in a back and forth fashion. We're going to take turns discussing each topic.
And I'm going to start with the thing everybody wants to hear about, the multiplayer. Multiplayer for Black Ops 2 is different, to say the least. It combines a new class system with a new outlook on maps and kill streaks.
Score streaks.
Okay, whatever. Score streaks. In Black Ops 2, instead of getting rewards for the amount of kills you get in succession, it gives rewards for the amount of points you get. This means in more objective-based game modes, you can still get that chopper gunner you always get in Team Deathmatch. It also means everything you do adds to your streak. So if you're that guy that gets like 20 assists and no kills, you now don't have to worry. This is a very nice addition since I often feel like I'm wasting bullets and time if all I get is an assist. The other aspects I mentioned are the maps and class system. The class system is completely revamped and is the most prominent addition to the multiplayer. Instead of being able to equip a perk for each slot, a primary weapon, secondary weapon, lethal and non-lethal equipment, and attachments, you can mix and match to make a class system specifically tailored to the situation. Or you can just be a greedy bastard and equip 6 perks, or 3 attachments. Or if you're really masochistic, you can have no weapons and perks at all and just run around with your knife. You now have 10 slots for whatever you need. Each item takes up a slot. So for example, a weapon takes up a slot, each perk takes up a slot, and equipment takes up a slot. And then there are wild cards that let you equip additional things like 2 blue perks, or 3 lethal grenades, or an extra attachment for either your primary or secondary. The class system in Black Ops 2 is seriously the best I've seen in any Call of Duty. It makes the multiplayer more of an experience and less of a game.
Yo, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the best video ever.
Really?
Okay, I will let you finish, but I want to address the campaign first. The story of Black Ops 2 takes place in the year 2025, and revolves around the son of Alex Mason, the main protagonist in the first Black Ops. It has a very interesting setup because it switches between the past and the game's present as you switch between Alex and his son David. The past missions show you what happened in between Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. It really helps you understand why things are the way they are in the war-torn present. And the present missions have a very futuristic feel to them, being that it takes place in 2025.
There's also plenty of rather interesting dialogue to wrap it all together.
Cocksucker.
There are plenty of new additions to make the campaign more controllable. For starters, you can change your loadout for each mission, as well as unlock new guns and equipment to help you along your actually rather short journey. The campaign is fairly short, though, and leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth depending on what ending you get. Although that is a very nice addition. The branching story paths and multiple endings is something we've never seen in a Call of Duty, and it is a very welcome thing. It really makes you feel like you're actually pressed for time when you're rushing to the objective, because in Black Ops 2, if you don't make it, you fail. And by fail, I don't mean the screen blurs and you're presented with some quote that has nothing to do with anything. I mean that the story keeps going and you get your ass chewed out for losing the precious cargo.
What the fuck was that, Mason? I expect better from you.
Another way the story branches and keeps you from getting too caught up in the narrative is with the addition of Strike Force missions. The Strike Force missions can be horribly frustrating at times, and the AI is very, very stupid. This really takes away from the missions as a whole and actually keeps you from wanting to deal with them, which is very sad because I was excited for them. They seem like a good way to switch up the monotony of shooting and running, but fall short of that mark, which the level design is actually fairly decent. Treyarch did a good job at making the levels seem more cohesive as well as giving the player more to do. There are still parts where you have to hide behind cover and shoot waves of enemies, but there are definitely less of them than normal. The campaign might not be as good as Modern Warfare 2's, but it is definitely worth checking out. And if you do, make sure you don't skip the credits, because Black Ops 2 also has one of the greatest Easter eggs ever.
Luckily, the multiplayer maps do not fail either. There is a variety of them, and they keep you interested with a lot of complexity and ways to approach each game type with multiple strategies on each map. There doesn't seem to be a map yet that I've had a major problem with. They are all very balanced and serve a purpose, and some of them are even taken directly from the Strike Force missions. One could definitely say that that's Treyarch being lazy, but honestly, I'm glad they did that because it gives those maps a reason, because the Strike Force missions might not have done it justice. One that I think of in particular is Drone. It's taken straight from a Strike Force mission. The Strike Force mission is really annoying and is honestly a waste of a good map. However, the multiplayer definitely does it justice, and it really helps bring home the futuristic feel.
It's time to address the zombies. Oh, zombies. What do I say about the zombies? Well, for starters, it's a hell of a lot more complicated, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, I like how big and complex transit is. It really keeps me from getting bored from the redundant zombie techniques like running around in circles. Yeah, that seems to be the most effective one. And it really made me want to explore. I mean, I spent hours and hours just running around, and every time I died, I would go to a different area. And the Easter eggs are definitely plentiful and complicated. This really makes me feel like I'm not just confined to one specific strategy if I want to make it past round 10. And I know we said Black Ops 1 had an overemphasis on zombies, and we still mean that, but Black Ops 2 doesn't feel like that's where they spent all their time. The zombies is definitely better than before, but so is everything else. I especially like the fact that you can play separate sections of transit with certain privileges taken away. And that's what I meant by the complexity being a good and a bad thing. I'm one of those people that loves the first Zombies map on World at War because it's simple. When they added perks and the Pack-a-Punch machine, I just got overwhelmed. But in Black Ops 2, I can just go back to that first map. I mean, if I don't want a huge layout of transit, I can just play on town. If I don't want the Pack-a-Punch, I just play on farm. And if I don't want any of that and kick it old school, I can play on Bus Depot.
And that just about wraps everything up. We felt like the campaign of Black Ops 2 is worth checking out and has good additions, but isn't really revolutionary. However, the multiplayer and zombies are revamped and make great strides for Call of Duty as a whole.
And with that, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gets 9 cocksuckers out of 10.
Get this cocksucker off my flight deck.